Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark, NXT, NWA Power, MLW Fusion, Inspire Pro, Ring of Honor results video for the week of February 19, 2020. Well, being the Elite episode number 191 can be found at this link. It's detailed as Into the Unknown. Friday's NXT live event in Tampa, Florida saw Tino Sabbatelli return to work for the company, but he didn't wrestle. Tino came to the ring for a promo shortly after intermission and received a pop at first, and then he talked about no one in the locker room gave a crap about him while he was out with an injury, but that was okay because they're all crap, and they can't compete with him and his ESPN resume. According to correspondent in attendance, Tino then said he's the most elite athlete in the NXT, and he's back. Also noted, Tino has been out of action since May of 2018, when it was announced that he had suffered a torn pectoral muscle during a live event match with the Velveteen Dream. Tino was originally expected to be out of action for around 9 months, but it was later reported in January 2019 that officials believed he would not be medically cleared anytime soon, and he was dealing with post-surgery problems. There was also talk in January of trying Tino out as a TV announcer, but nothing ever came of that. Tino signed with WWE in 2014 and has spent most of his NXT run with current WWE 24 champion Rick Moss, who is now on the Raw roster. WWE split the team up shortly before Tino's injury. Friday's NXT live event in Tampa also saw several NXT UK superstars make their main brand debut. Tag team of Pretty Deadly, made up of Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley, jumped Shane Thorne early in the show. Bronson Reed made a save, and that led to a tag team match that saw Pretty Deadly take the loss. WWE announced back on January 31st that Pretty Deadly were among 5 new recruits at the WWE UK Performance Center in North London, along with Levi Moore, Candy Floss, and Danny Luna. They made their NXT UK TV debuts at a February 22nd tapings. Wait a minute, I remember a character, don't remember, it was probably a puppet, when I was going to church, at Hillcrest Baptist Church in Augusta, Georgia, many years ago. A friend of mine, and that was her character name, Candy Floss. I think Cavity, might have been Cavity Floss, don't know. Well, anyways, Irish talent A.O. Valkyrie also made her main brand debut on Friday in Tampa. Also noted, Valkyrie made her NXT debut on this week's episode. That's NXT UK, defeating Emily, or a male, in a match that was taped in late January. Friday's live event in Tampa saw Valkyrie defeat the returning Aliyah. This loss was Aliyah's return to in-ring action following her November 13th loss to the Elite on the USA Network. WWE then announced that the next day that Aliyah suffered a nasal fracture and a possible orbital floor fracture due to the roundhouse kick to the face from Lee. WWE also noted that she was not medically cleared to compete. Aliyah told fans on Twitter that she did suffer a broken nose, which was repeated on NXT commentary 2 weeks later. Former WWN champion and Evolve star JD Drake made his surprise in-ring debut for NXT at the Tampa live event as well. The surprise appearance saw Drake defeat Dio Madden in a hard-hitting bout. He was on the main roster on Raw. So at least he's wrestling. That's what he's doing now, since the Brock Lesnar incident. This looks to be Madden's second match since returning to NXT from the WWE Raw announce team back in November. He returned to competition on the February 1st live event in Orlando, defeating Cal Bloom. As results have noted, WWE brought the former Brendan Williams from NXT to the Raw announce team back in September to call the Red Brand action with Vic Johnson and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry King Lawler. WWE did the angle in November where Madden was taken out by WWE Champion Brock Lesnar after standing up for Lawler. It was reported that Madden was leaving the Raw announce team after a short stint as he wanted to resume training for an in-ring career. Tania Brooks, better known as Rebel, in her time with Impact Wrestling, paid tribute on Instagram at this link to her late friend, Dr. Amy Hardwick. Hardwick was murdered this past Saturday by her ex-boyfriend. Brooks wrote, "Amy Nicole, you are a perfect angel, and now you're an angel in heaven. I'm devastated to hear about your tragic death. You won't be forgotten, my beautiful, intelligent, creative friend. Love you always. Rest in peace." Hardwick, who was also engaged to Drew Carey from 2017 to 2018, was found unresponsive underneath a third-story balcony with injuries consistent with a fall. Hardwick was taken to a hospital where she later died from the injuries. TMZ reported that law enforcement received a call early Saturday morning of a woman screaming in a Hollywood Hills neighborhood. Officers were met in the street by Hardwick's roommate, who said she was being assaulted inside her home. According to GMZ, evidence suggested that there was forced entry and a struggle inside Hardwick's home before she was discovered. Investigators were able to use surveillance footage in the neighborhood to determine a suspect. Detectives learned Hardwick had a recently expressed concern about an ex-boyfriend who she once had a restraining order against. Cops say the restraining order ended just 2 weeks ago, and Hardwick had recently seen the ex. Police arrested the ex, named Gareth Pursehouse, Saturday afternoon and booked him for the murder. Hardwick was a licensed marriage and family therapist in Hollywood. She published the New Sex Bible for Women in 2014. Brooks has been working behind the scenes for All Elite Wrestling. She started back in August with the company doing hair and makeup for Dynamite. But as AEW announced a special edition of Dynamite on TNT with the fallout of Double or Nothing 2020. Dynamite on Wednesday, May 27th will be held at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, just days after the Double or Nothing 2020 pay-per-view from the same venue. Tickets for the Vegas Dynamite show go on sale this Friday at this link, starting at $25 at AEWTix.com and AXS.com. Double or Nothing tickets went on sale this past week, but you can go to that link to see more info on that. As a promotional graphic for the show features AEW World Champion Chris Jericho, AEW World Tag Team Champions Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Jon Moxley. Could be a spoiler, but wait and see. AEW is pulling at least some of their roster from the WrestleCon event that takes place during WrestleMania 36 week in Tampa, Florida area. As seen on a Google spreadsheet for WrestleCon, it was noted that AEW pulled Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara from the event. The decision was made on Wednesday, February 12th, according to the sheet. Last week, a week ago. Despite AEW making these two cancellations, the sheet still has listed several top AEW stars for WrestleCon. AEW World Champion Chris Jericho, AEW Women's World Champion Nyla Rose, AEW World Tag Team Champion Kenny Omega, but not his partner, Jon Moxley, Chris Statlander, and Orange Cassidy. No word yet on why AEW pulled All In and Guevara. A fan asked Cody Rhodes on Twitter back in December if AEW talents would be allowed to work WrestleCon, and the convention responded with the following comments in a tweet. "I'll share that answer was given to us by AEW. Talent will be permitted to do autographs and photo ops, but will not be allowed to wrestle. Even the non-exclusive talents. My guess is that some of the top guys won't appear due to self-motivated reasons and are boycotting that weekend. NWA Crockett Cup 2020 pay-per-view has been announced for Sunday by NWA, the Sunday, April 19th, from the Gateway Arena in College Park, Georgia, in the Atlanta area. Well, that's also where AEW was from this week's episode. Tickets for the pay-per-view go on sale Friday, February 28th. The pre-sale begins Thursday, February 27th. The Gateway Arena has a capacity of only 5,000 fans. NWA's Crockett Cup 2020 pay-per-view will be held on the same night as Impact Wrestling's Rebellion pay-per-view in New York City. It's believed that the Crockett Cup 2020 pay-per-view will be headlined by Marty Scurll versus NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis in a rematch from the 2019 Cup. Well, speaking of NWA Power episode number 18 we found this week. This link. In the new NWA show that debuted this week on Tuesday night, called Circle Square, at this link. Ring of Honor announced that the Briscoes versus Dalton Castle and Joe Hendry for the upcoming Ring of Honor 18th anniversary pay-per-view. Ring of Honor's 18th anniversary pay-per-view takes place Friday, March 13th from Sam's Town live in Las Vegas. And Ring of Honor Wrestling this week, the episode can be found here. AEW Dark show link can be found at this link. Back to NWA taking time off mid-season, debuting the new show, which debuts on Tuesday nights at 6:05 Eastern. I've told you this for about a month now on this Circle Square event. Be part of shaping the future of National Wrestling Alliance, which premiere and be a part of history at this link. First ever episode. I think it's like 28 minutes. Inspire Pro TV from New Orleans area, episode number 23 can be found at this link. Impact Wrestling has signed top indie talent Chris Bay. Impact announced during Tuesday's episode that Bay has officially been signed. Of course, it's been taped for about a month and will make his official in-ring roster debut soon. Bay recently worked the February 8th and February 9th Impact tapings in a singles match against Damian Drake, who also debuted, and an 8-man match. It looks like his official post-signing debut will be the match against Drake. 24-year-old Bay, who was billed as the ultimate finesser from Las Vegas, first worked a few Impact dates, 2018. They also appeared on October 11th, 2019 WWE 205 Live episode for Las Area the Very, which you can look at on WWE website, YouTube account. Bay also worked for Ring of Honor, Bar Wrestling, GCW, PCW, Ultra, and others. It's an interesting coincidence that Impact announced Bay signing on the same day that he was praised by AEW Executive Vice President Cody Rhodes. Cody hosted a media call earlier in the day and revealed that he was looking at Bay. Cody made the comments after being asked about AEW possibly bringing in more wrestlers of color in 2020. I've been doing a deep dive on YouTube on a guy named Chris Bay, Cody said. He's a prime example of somebody who could potentially be good for our singles division. We haven't spoken to him or anything of that nature, but I'm sure this call will have some sort of, he'll hear about it in some capacity. Well, you watching my videos, they'll definitely hear about it. Wrestling veterans Austin Aries and DDP have allegedly been spotted at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia for a AEW Dynamite episode. Well, I also saw somebody else on TV sitting kind of by himself, none other than Raven. Well, there was a link on Twitter that I did not get, as Twitter used a posted photo of Aries and DDP together, noting that this was them arriving to the arena today. No word yet on if Aries and DDP will be appearing, but stay tuned for the video results. The episode results in a few minutes. DDP lives in Atlanta area and has appeared on AEW programming before. Aries, who has been training with DDP at his own performance center in the area, could always end up making his debut. Well, I don't think I've seen him on the show. Just give you a spoiler quickly. On as WB NXT opened up from the USA Network with a video package of highlights from Sunday's TakeOver Portland event, Hype Tonight Show. We're live from the NXT Arena, Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. As Mauro Ronaldo welcomes us, he's joined in by Nigel McGuinness and WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. Mauro confirmed tonight's main event, grudge match, Roderick Strong versus Velveteen Dream. That's your main event. We got your ring outcomes in the Undisputed Era, NXT champion Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Cole takes the mic and touts how he retained over Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver. He praises his partners and says they will continue to set the standards for NXT. They go on, and Cole brings up how Strong will take care of the Velveteen Dream tonight. Lights go low, and there's a purple tint over the arena as Dream's logo appears on the big screen on the stage. We hear Dream talking about tonight's match. The lights go back on, and Strong is furious. He promises to make Dream wish he never came back. Strong drops the mic, and the Undisputed Era exit the ring as the music hits. He's announced to show us how Johnny Gargano turned on Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver to help him lose that match. NXT Cruiserweight title match, Leo Rush versus Jordan Devlin. We go to the mat. We go back to the ring for tonight's opener, and out first comes the challenger, Leo Rush. NXT Cruiserweight champion Jordan Devlin was out next, representing NXT UK. We get formal ring introductions from Alicia Taylor. The bell rings and they go at it start. Back and forth for the first few minutes or two. Rush ends up countering and going for a roundhouse kick, but Devlin avoided it and goes to the floor to escape, to regroup. Devlin, on his feet, looks on a bit shocked as Rush stares him down from the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Devlin sells a possible rib injury after a moonsault. Devlin knocks Rush back with a big kick. Devlin keeps Rush down and works him around the ring into the corner to bully him with a forearm. Rush gets up and fires back with a forearm of his own. Devlin with a Uranagi and a standing moonsault, but Rush gets his knees up. They check out some more as Devlin hits a German suplex for a 2 count. Nigel announces the Broserweights versus O'Day Lorcan and Danny Burch for tonight in non-title action. Devlin drops Rush with a big knee to the gut for another 2 count. Devlin has a few words with the referee. Devlin keeps control now after shutting down a comeback attempt. Fans are dueling chants, but Rush can't mount any offense. Devlin with a big chop in the corner. Then a European uppercut. Devlin holds Rush by his arm and delivers a bunch of lefts and rights. Right kicks to the face. Devlin with a stiffer kick to the face. Rush counters the move and goes for the come up, but Devlin blocked it and hits an elevator backdrop. Fans pop as Devlin is slow to make the cover. Rush kicks out at 2. Devlin with more chops in the corner now. Rush counters and drops him. Devlin comes right back with a jawbreaker. We'll go to commercial with Devlin in control. Back from the break, they're going at it. Devlin gets sent to the floor. Rush does a suicide dive. Rush brings it back in and hits a big crossbody from the top for a close 2 count. More back and forth as Devlin goes on and counters with a cutter for another close call. Devlin goes for a side moonsault to the floor, but barely gets it. Rush hits one of his own and brings it back into the ring. Rush goes back to the top, but has to roll through. Devlin counters a mule kick with a kick of his own. More back and forth again. Devlin kicks out at 2. Devlin goes on and hits a standing Spanish fly. Rush ends up pulling Devlin into a submission on the floor. Devlin makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. Rush goes to the top, but Devlin hits the top rope and crotches him. Devlin climbs up with Rush. Rush ends up hitting an inverted hurricanrana and then to come up, but Devlin somehow gets his foot on the bottom rope. No one can believe it. Rush goes for the final hour, but it's blocked. Devlin comes back and lands a headbutt. Devlin grabs Rush and hits him double inside Devlin slide for the pin to retain out of nowhere. Like they had to hurry up and finish the match. After the match, Devlin stands tall with the title. As we go to replays, Devlin raises the title, celebrates as Rush sits up on the mat. Disappointed. John Costa was backstage with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Asking about Raquel helping Kai win the street fight over Tegan Knox at TakeOver this past Sunday. Raquel said Knox got every opportunity while Kai was pushed aside. She knows what that feels like because she's sat at the WWE Performance Center for years and watched others get opportunities before her. She goes on and says Kai was deemed an outcast for standing up for herself, but not anymore. Kai says Raquel proved to her at TakeOver that she has her back more than anyone else ever has, and for that, Kai has Raquel's back now. Kai said together they are untouchable, and that brings up NXT General Manager William Regal. He walks up and congratulates Kai on the TakeOver win and being untouchable, except Kai will have to face Knox in 2 weeks, and there will be no outside interference, as this will be a steel cage match. We see Tommaso Ciampa walking backstage. We go to commercial. A quick plug for the Charlotte Flair versus NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 36. Austin Theory versus unknown name. We go back to the ring. Out comes Austin Theory. Tommaso Ciampa comes walking down the ringside to during Theory's entrance. Fan chant Daddy's home. Ciampa walks over, grabs the mic, and then enters the ring. Ciampa enters the ring and brings up TakeOver Portland. But Theory approaches him. Ciampa just looks down and says, "Listen, man, not tonight. I'm telling you, not tonight." Theory backs off and waits in the corner. Ciampa brings up Johnny Gargano's turn from TakeOver and says he should have saw it coming. He was so focused on getting his title and his life back that he stopped paying attention to his surroundings. He says one sign was the DIY reunion at Worlds Collide. Ciampa says if one thing goes hand in hand with sponsor Ciampa and the NXT title, and always has, it's Johnny Gargano. Ciampa says he's not asking himself why. He knows why, and so does Gargano. Theory comes back over, tries to grab Ciampa, but Ciampa drops him. What a cutter. Ciampa goes back to speaking on the mic and says if one thing is clear, in order to get his life back, there can be no Gargano in NXT. Ciampa puts the mic down and exits the ring. Theory comes after Ciampa on the floor, but Ciampa turns right around and levels him with a big boot. Ciampa kicks Theory in the head and starts launching him from barrier to barrier. Ciampa has snapped. The referee tries to break it up, but Ciampa continues to manhandle Theory at the bottom of the ramp as fans cheer him on. Ciampa storms up the ramp and to the back as the referee checks on Theory. We see Chelsea Green backstage doing a photo shoot. Robert Stone appears to instruct the photographer. Robert Stone brand will relaunch tonight. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we get a video package with Finn Balor. A few visuals from his TakeOver Portland win over Johnny Gargano. Balor says, wait until we see his next move next week. Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde in his return match. Joaquin Wilde's debut. Again. Versus the grizzled young veterans. We go to the ring. Out first comes Raul Mendoza. Joaquin Wilde is out next. The meet and the ramp head to the ring together. Out next are the grizzled young veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. Gibson and Wilde go at it as we get the bell. Gibson takes the show, and then comes Drake. Drake and Wilde trade holds. They run the ropes. Wilde with a scissor takedown. Drake with a drop toe hold. Wilde rolls Drake up for a 2 count. Gibson tags in and then double team Wilde. Gibson works Wilde over with punches and kicks. Drake tags back in for another double team. Drake keeps control and sends Wilde to the floor after a pendulum backbreaker. Wilde gets double teamed on the floor again for some boos. I don't think he returns to the match at all. I don't remember seeing him when I watched NXT. The grizzled young vets with more kicks and quick tags and double teaming. Gibson slammed Drake on the top of Wilde for a 2 count. Drake and Gibson keep control until Wild hits a moonsault into a DDT. Mendoza finally gets a hot tag. Mendoza unloads on both opponents. Mendoza and Gibson go at it now. Mendoza with a springboard missing drop kick. Gibson counters with offense of his own. Gibson with a big suplex for a 2 count. Drake comes back in and kicks Wild off the apron. And that's all you see of him. Gibson comes back in for a double teaming. They end up hitting the Ticket to Mayhem for the pin and the win. Winner of the match, James Drake and Zach Gibson. After the match, Gibson takes the mic and cuts a heel promo. He says, "This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. But it's really the land of the neckbeard and home of the ignorant." He goes on about how the grizzled young veterans have come to NXT to take over and will soon be known as the #1 in the world. We got a commercial. Back from the break, we get a plug for NXT UK TakeOver Dublin on April 26th. We go to the ring. Out comes the new NXT Tag Team Champions, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, the Broserweights. They go through the crowd and celebrate with the fans before entering the ring. Fan chant Broserweights as Riddle takes the mic and opens with a bro for everyone. Riddle asks where the golf cart is, and Dunne says Riddle got it impounded. Dunne says all that matters is that they're the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Fan chat, you deserve it. Now, Riddle says the celebration continues. Riddle talks about how they partied hard in Portland, even Stallion Pete. Riddle jokes that Stallion Cup, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Cup trophy, partied too hard and has been suspended for 30 days because he failed a wellness policy. He laughs and says, "That's the thing around here." The music interrupts and out comes Danny Burch and O'Neill Lorcan for a non-title match. Broserweights versus Lorcan and Danny Burch. The bell rings and Pete Dunne starts off with Danny. Dunne goes to work on the arm. They tangle and Dunne takes Burch down, working on the leg. Burch fights free and they lock up with a test of strength. They tangle some more, down and back up as the fans applaud them. Riddle and Lorcan tag in now. Riddle ends up hitting a gut-wrench suplex early on. He holds it and does another as Dunne does the same move at the same time to Burch when he came in. Dunne and Riddle team up to clear the ring. They stand tall together and got a commercial. Back for the break, Lorcan has Riddle on the mat. Lorcan with a single leg crab and another hold in the middle of the ring. Riddle rocks Lorcan with a knee, but Burch comes in. Dunne tags in and levels Burch. Dunne launches Burch and goes to the top, delivering a finger stomp from the top. Dunne with a roundhouse kick and a suplex into an armbar attempt. Burch grabs his arm and resists. Dunne grabs his fingers and bends him back. Dunne gets rolled up for a 2 count. I've seen them wrestle a couple of times, and that's their classic moveset. Bar back and forth. Riddle tags in, rocks Burch with a kick as Dunne also kicks him. Riddle comes in and drops Burch on his head, but Lorcan makes a save, breaks up the pin. Lorcan sends Dunne out to the floor and then uppercuts him to the floor. Riddle with a ripcord knee to Lorcan, but Burch comes from behind. Riddle unloads on him with strikes. Burch with more offense to Riddle, but Riddle kicks out. Burch goes right into the crossface. Dunne runs in, but Lorcan stops him. Dunne takes Lorcan down, then kicks Burch to break the submission on Riddle. All four are down now. Riddle and Burch trade more stiff offense now. Dunne comes in with an insecurity Burch. Lorcan tags in and goes at it with Dunne, nailing a huge uppercut. Lorcan with a running blockbuster to Dunne for a big pop as he yells out. Dunne counters Lorcan and snaps his fingers back for a pop. Riddle tags in and they end up hitting the Riddle in, the knee strike, and the bitter end combo. Riddle covers for the pin and the win. After the match, Dunne and Riddle celebrate and raise the titles as Riddle's music hits. We go to replays. We come back to the champs heading through the crowd, continuing their celebration with the fans. Undisputed Era's backstage. They're here to help. They are here to help him in the main event, but he said tonight he needs to do this for himself. Back to commercial. Back with right, Forgotten Sons are backstage. Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. Jackson Riker. They're not happy with the earlier threat from the grizzled young veterans and issue a warning of their own to the NXT UK superstars. Keith Lee versus Kona Reeves was up next. We go back to the ring. Out comes NXT North American Champion Keith Lee for a non-title match. Morrow shows us footage from Lee's backstage WWE backstage debut from last week, episode on Fox Sports 1. Lee enters the ring and the fan chant for him. Lee takes the mic to discuss his rubber match win over Dominic Dijakovic and TakeOver Portland. But before he can get a word out, the music interrupts, and out comes Kona Reeves. Reeves enters the ring and asks for a mic, but turns around as Lee immediately knocks him out with a pounce. Lee tells the referee he can ring the bell. Reeves tries to put up a fight, but Lee manhandles him for a second and hits a big bang catastrophe to get the pin and the win with an easy squash. After the match, Lee stands tall as we go to replays. Dominic Dijakovic is in the ring now with a face-to-face face-off. Dijakovic says he's sorry, but he's not ready to move on yet. Dijakovic says they both know he had Lee defeated at TakeOver. He says the top rope Spanish Fly was supposed to finish Lee, but it didn't. It just finished his lower back. He goes on about if this and if that. Lee says all he's hearing is ifs and excuses. Lee says that the fact is he won and he's champion. He raises the title and the fans pop. Lee goes on, fan chant, fight forever. Now, Lee says he's always up for a challenge, and if Dijakovic can talk William Regal into it, then they can fight forever. Lee tosses the mic and exits the ring as his music hits. Next, we got Caden Carter versus Chelsea Green. Back from the ring, out comes Caden Carter to the ring first. Robert Stone is out next to the stage, representing the Robert Stone brand for their relaunch. Stone introduces Chelsea Green and calls her the face of the NXT Women's Division. The bell rings and Carter goes to attack. Green tries to slam her, but Carter rolls her up for a 2 count. Carter mounts offense now as Stone watches from ringside. Carter wins the exchange and then rolls Green into a move, but can't get the pin. Carter with more offense for another pin attempt. Carter goes for a move in the corner, but she slips on the second rope and falls. Green takes advantage and gets the upper hand for a 2 count. Green with several knees to the gut now. Green drops Carter with a knee to the jaw. Green with a close 2 count. And Stone looks on with all smiles. Green with a camel clutch in the middle of the ring. Green keeps control and slingshots Carter's neck under the middle rope for another close pin attempt. They go on until Bianca Belair suddenly hits the ring, interrupting the match, taking a mic and standing tall, almost daring anyone to deny her this TV time. Blair takes the mic and sends a message to Charlotte Flair. Belair doesn't care when or where it is. She's going to whoop Flair's butt. Belair leaves and Green tries to take advantage with a roll-up, but Carter kicks out at 2. More back and forth on the mat. Carter drops Green with a big strike. Green rolls to the floor to regroup with Stone, but Carter brings her back in the ring. Anyways, Stone grabs Carter's leg and shifts her, causing her to fall on her face while the referee wasn't looking. Green capitalizes and nails the unprettier on Carter for the pin and the win. Chelsea Green's first win. After the match, Robert Stone brand celebrates as his music hits. Velveteen Dream backstage. Go to commercial. We go back from the break. Tommaso Ciampa versus Austin Theory is announced for next week. Finn Balor also be here next week. Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong. Your main event. Out first comes Velveteen Dream for his first match since October. Dream mouths, "Hey Maria," to Strong's wife, Marina Shafir, as the mind games are already being played. Out next comes Roderick Strong by himself. The bell rings and the Dream goes right over to the floor to show off some. He comes right back in and they go at it. Strong retreats to the floor and Dream taunts him from the ring. Strong comes up the steps, but Dream swings his belt, missing Strong. Referee warns him. Strong comes in and goes for a takedown. Dream gets back up and they tangle some more. Going into the ropes, Dream goes back to the floor and shows off, infuriating Strong some more for all the stalling. Strong takes Dream back in the ring and Dream drop kicks him. Dream unloads in the corner and now Dream whips Strong hard in the corner, Irish whip, as he goes down. Dream rocks Strong and delivers big chops in the corners. Strong with a cheap shot to the eyes. Strong then turns around with a big chop of his own in the corner. Strong with more strikes to drop Dream. Dream tangles, but Strong hits a backbreaker. Dream rolls to the floor to regroup as the referee checks on him. Dream limps around, but here comes Strong. Dream explodes at him and takes him down on the floor. Strong sends Dream back first into the apron. Strong breaks the count and goes back to work on Dream, but Dream fights him off. Dream sends Strong into the ring steps and goes back to commercial. Back to the ring, Strong has Dream grounded in the middle of the ring with a headlock. Fans rallying for Dream as he starts fighting up and out. Dream with a back drop to counter Strong. Dream rocks Strong with strikes to fight him off. They tangle in the corner and collide. Both go down. More back and forth. They trade more big strikes, and Dream drops Strong for a pop. Dream blocks a backbreaker and then nails one of his own. Dream blocks a back drop, but Strong counters a move with a strike to the jaw. Dream comes right back with a right hand and a DDT in the middle of the ring. Strong still kicks out of two. Dream goes to the top, but the fans rally for him. Dream with a double axe handle. Dream with chops and punches. Dream with more offense, and Strong turns it around with a shot to the back. Dream ends up getting launched onto the top of the ring post. Ribs the lower area, hitting on the exposed part of the steel. Strong climbs up from behind, but Dream resists. Dream powers up with Strong and the fireman's carry on the top. Strong fights out. Strong drops Dream over the top turnbuckle with a backbreaker, but Dream still kicks out of two. More back and forth in the middle of the ring. Strong with a big double underhook suplex in the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Strong with a stronghold in the middle of the ring as the referee checks on Dream. Fans are chanting for both guys out. Dream crawls in the hold and finally gets the bottom rope to break it. Strong goes for another hold, but Dream kicks him over the top rope to the floor. Strong gets in and fights back in. Dream kicks out of a roll up, then rocks Strong in the mouth. Dream goes on and kicks Strong in the mouth again. They unload on each other with strikes while down on the mat. They get up and Dream walks into 2 big boots to go back down. Strong jumps right into a super kick after more strikes between the two. Dream immediately goes into the Dream Valley driver. Strong is down. Dream rips off the tights he's been wrestling in tonight. And if you're not familiar with referencing Rick Rude, how many times did he do that with Jake the Snake? Wearing Jake the Snake on his pants and what have you. And also some other females on the tights. Oh well, and rebuilds another pair of tights with Marina Shafir's face painted on the front of them, right in his crotch area. Dream goes to the top but turns and jumps to take out Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish at ringside are said as they have just ran out. He takes him down and comes back into tangle with Strong. Dream goes right into the Dream Valley driver for the pin and win. Winner of the match, Velveteen Dream. After the match, Undisputed Era immediately hits the ring to triple team Dream. They take turns destroying Dream and hitting finishers. Strong recovers and joins them. The Undisputed Era poses over Dream in the middle of the ring as NXT goes off the air. AEW announced their first official podcast. AEW, and it's called AEW Unrestricted, which will premiere this coming Thursday, February 20th. Well, tonight I'm doing this video. Well, new episodes will air each Thursday. Podcast is hosted by AEW announcer Tony Schiavone and AEW referee Aubrey Edwards. AEW Dynamite from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Tag Team Battle Royal winners will face AEW World Tag Team Champions at AEW Revolution. A bunch of teams are outside the ring as the shows get started. The match begins with a large number of them jump in. Santana, Ortiz, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver all hang out outside the ring and watch. Sky and Kazarian each head to the top rope and leap down on pretty much everyone. Evans up top, front flip on a pile of guys. They catch him and toss him down to the floor. To a big cheer from the crowd. Teams are still alive until both guys are eliminated with both feet touching the floor. AE Wrestling Hashtag SEU taking everyone out. Private Party sent T-Hawk out of the ring. SEU going to work on a handful of wrestlers. Silver and Reynolds finally get into the ring and attack SEU. From ringside, Dark Order spokesman gets on the mic and asks SEU how interested is that Daniels isn't at ringside with them. He then says the Exalted One is near. Dark Order members send Sky and Kazarian out of the match. Young Bucks send Silver and Reynolds out of the match. They're both eliminated. A wrestler says, I thought hashtag SU was about brotherhood. Sky leaps over the barricade and takes out Grayson Evil, Uno, also at ringside, but ducked the leap. Sema and Trent go at it in the middle of the ring. Santana and Ortiz finally get into the match and go after Sema. Ortiz gets Sema on the apron. Jungle Boy too. Jungle Boy and Sema fight off the apron, but Luchasaurus knocks Sema out of the ring with a big kick. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus drop a bunch of different teams. The Bunny up on the apron for a distraction to Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Blade and Butcher drop both guys. Sema at ringside. Dark Order offers up a mask to Sema. He takes it and looks around at the crowd. It looks like he's thinking about it and heads out to the crowd. AA Wrestling, Luchasaurus versus the Butcher. Nick Jackson with a flurry of kicks on everyone. Crowd really into this match. Nick gets eliminated by the Butcher. Butcher and Luchasaurus trade big shots in the middle of the ring. Santana sends Quinn out to the apron, but gets knocked to the floor by Santana and Ortiz, who then throw Cassidy out to the floor on his partner. But isn't eliminated. Angelico gets destroyed by Luchasaurus and kicked out of the ring. Sammy Guerrero grabs Jungle Boy's foot, and he gets sent out of the match. Everyone in the ring decides to go after Luchasaurus, and out he goes. We're down to Blade, Butcher, Best Friends, Young Bucks, just Matt, and Santana and Ortiz. Well, at TD_wrestling, Orange Cassidy is the guardian angel of hashtag AEW, AEW Dynamite, hashtag AEW on TNT. Best Friends drop a lot of people, go for a hug, and Taylor gets tossed out of the match. Trent gets sent out, but Cassidy shows up out of nowhere and holds Trent up. Chicken style wrestling like in a pool. Still puts him back in the ring. Trent nails a tornado DDT on Blade inside the ring. Trent and Matt with a double drop kick to eliminate Blade. Down to 5 guys. Trent and Matt with double super kicks on Butcher. The super kick party. They look to be working together for now and give him a big hug. But then Butcher hits a double clothesline. TD_wrestling. Alley Wrestling is no fan of Citrus. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Hashtag AEW on TNT. Trent whip to the corner and out to the apron. Barely hanging on, he's able to pull Butcher to the apron. They swing away on each other. Cassidy is right there to help Trent. Trent with a bunch of chops. Bunny now comes over to talk with Cassidy and knees him between the legs. Trent gets dropped from the apron. Down to Butcher, Matt, Santana, and Ortiz. Matt with a spear on Butcher. Matt is still in it because he went through the middle rope. But Butcher had previously gone over the top rope, so he's been eliminated. TD_wrestling. Don't even think about crashing. Hashtag Matt Jackson, one-man super kick party. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Hashtag AEW on TNT. Santana and Ortiz go after Matt in the ring, but he goes for another light suplex on both guys. Santana on the apron. Guevara trips up Matt from the outside. Santana up top and hits a street sweeper on Matt. Then sends him out, but he holds on to the top rope, doesn't touch the floor. Matt with a super kick to eliminate Ortiz. Guevara tries to springboard in and help as Matt hits a super kick on him, then clotheslines Santana out of the ring for the win. So the Young Bucks get the Duke and the title shot at AEW Revolution. At AEW on TNT says that Cody Rhodes, at the Brady Rhodes, and Pharaoh are all in the building. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Backstage, Cody enters the building with Brandy Rhodes and her dog, Pharaoh. I didn't see Pharaoh. Chris Statlander versus Shana was up next. Becky joins commentary for the match. She immediately tells Tony she brought him a skinny latte to keep his finger down. Each wrestler trades wrist locks and then boop each other on the nose over and over. Crowd selling it like these are massive shakes. Then they throw forearms at each other. Statlander with some elbows, chops, kicks, uppercut, and a kick to the face. Covers for a 2 count. Well, a wrestling says, fear the boop. A lot of back and forth action. Both end up on the top rope. Shana with a double stomp down on her opponent. Covers for a 2 count. Shana is in control of the match, but then eats a big elbow. And Statlander hits a Big Bang Theory package pile driver for the 1, 2, 3. Chitty_Wrestling says, another out of this world showing for at Call Me Chris Stat. Winner match, Chris Statlander by pinfall. And a recap of Nyla Rose beating Riho last week to win the AEW Women's World Championship. We'll hear from the new champion later. At night, AEW on TNT said that Nyla Rose Beast gets challenged by at Swole World and it called me Chris Stat. Tony Schiavone talks with AEW Women's World Champion Nyla Rose on the stage. Tony congratulates her on winning, but Rose barks at the crowd. Is that how you greet me? Rose says she should have been the first champion and face all the posters. Face on all the posters. Rose says it just makes her hungry. And when she's hungry, she breaks B words. Shivani asks about Riho's courage, but Rose rips the microphone away and says, forget that. She represents power. She's the queen bee in this hive. Rose then proclaims she'll be on a one-time champion because nobody can beat her. From there, back comes Chris Statlander, number 2 in the rankings. Statlander goes to boop Rose's nose and does it to the title. Then Swole gets the roll out and gets in Rose's face. Security and referees come out to break things up. Swole and Statlander then lock eyes for a moment and end the segment. Recap of Jeff Cobb's debut from last week's Dynamite. Jeff Cobb versus John Moxley this week. This is Jeff Cobb's in-ring debut for AEW. Tad joins commentary for the match. AEW World Champion Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager do the video game. Tickets in their hand like they're sitting in the front row to watch the bout. Cobb with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex right off the bat. Moxley's ribs are taped up. He's got a bandage on his elbow. And, of course, the eye patch is still there. Both at the before, battle a bit. Moxley in the ring. Leaps over the top rope, down on his opponent, back in the ring. Cobb with a shoulder tackle. AEW on TNT says, that's a big man right there at Real Jeff Cobb. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Cobb really working over Moxley now. Looks for the tour of the islands. No. Moxley goes after Cobb's knee and continues to kick away at it. He then swings it again against the ring post a bunch of times. Back in the ring, Cobb launches Moxley across the ring, covers, then lifts Moxley up. Moxley is able to get in a heel hook, but Cobb goes right to the ropes to escape the hole and then escape to the floor. Moxley up to the top rope, jumps and gets caught in midair and gets suplexed to the floor. Back in the ring, running power slam on Moxley. Covers for a 2 count. Moxley back up and lands a boot, then a knee to the face off of the second rope. Tries for the clothesline. Cobb with a German suplex. Moxley right back up for a lariat. At AEW on TNT, how much more of this can John Moxley take? Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Big back and forth shots from Cobb, finally dropping Moxley with a lariat. Tour of the Islands? Nope. Paradise Ship? Nope. Cobb with a running uppercut. They go to the second rope. Cobb with a suplex, but Moxley hangs on to Cobb, goes for the pinfall win. For the 1, 2, 3. Quick win off of that. AEW Wrestling says that Darby Allin is back to even the odds. After the match, Inner Circle is immediately in the ring, stomps away on Moxley. From the back comes Dustin Rhodes. He swings away on everyone, but the numbers are too great for him. Lights go out. Darby Allin's music hits. He gets a nice pop, and all in skates down to the ring. He brings his board in and swings away on everyone. Hager tries for a low blow, but All In blocks it with a board. Cobb is in from behind, suplex, but All In lands on his feet. Moxley in from behind with a paradise shift on Cobb. All In gets launched, then launches Guevara into the steps. Jericho is dazed and realizes he's in the ring with Moxley. They swing away at each other. Moxley whips him into the ropes, but Jericho bellows out to the floor and end up on the ramp to end the segment. Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus Lucha Brothers for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Page and Phoenix get things started. Crowd hot for this one, much behind the champions. Page with a big boot to Phoenix and tags in Omega. Double kicks. Cotero Crusher by Omega covers for a 2 count. Page back in the match. Phoenix able to land a bunch of chops, but then takes a big one by Page. Page lifts him up, suplex with a bridge, but Pentagon with a standing double stomp to break it up. Omega sends Pentagon out of the ring. AEW Wrestling says, hashtag, the Lucha Brothers showing zero fear in their attack tonight. Back to the match, Omega plants Phoenix, running shooting star press. Omega with a second rope moonsault. Pentagon gets dropped by Page as Omega goes for the cover for a 2 count. Phoenix finally tags out. Pentagon and Phoenix chopping away on their respective opponents. Phoenix with an assisted Hurricane on Page. Pentagon then leaps off of Phoenix's back and cannonballs down on Omega in the corner. Commentary joking about how long of a 10 count that was, allowing both guys to stay in the ring. AE Wrestling says that Kenny Omega Man X still in the fight. Back from the break. Omega is getting beat up by the challengers. Pentagon with a big kick to the shoulder. Page still making his way back to the corner as he was taking out during the commercial. Omega with a tornado DDT on Pentagon. He then tags in Page. Omega selling an injury to his leg. Page drops Pentagon. Then boots Phoenix down to the floor. Fallaway slam lands. Kip up. Page leaps over the top and down on Phoenix. Sliding Lariat on Pentagon. Covers for a 2 count. Omega tags in. Page suplexes Pentagon. Phoenix gets eliminated. But Pentagon runs in and hits a crazy Canadian Destroyer on Omega. AEW on TNT says this Destroyer from Petzelrob, hashtag AEW Dynamite. Pentagon and Omega with big strikes on the apron. V-trigger to Omega. Phoenix runs ropes and keeps Omega, knees Omega in the face. Pentagon looks for a package pile driver. No, back body drop on Pentagon. Phoenix with a step up Hurricane and sends Omega to the floor. Page with a moonsault off the top rope to drop Pentagon. Crowd is going nuts. Page tags in. Discus Lariat covers for a 2 count. Omega tags in. Not looking great, though. Pentagon with a kick to Omega's face. Sling blade on Omega. Phoenix with a missile drop kick on Omega. Page hits a pop-up powerbomb on Pentagon. Omega with a knee to the back of Pentagon's head. At TD_Wrestling says, zero doubt about the determination of Kenny Omega Man X. One heck of a match on hashtag AEW Dynamite, AEW on TNT. Phoenix looks for the springboard cutter. No, Omega holds it from behind. Page tries for the buckshot lariat and hits Omega. Page gets sent out of the ring. Phoenix with a flip out on Omega. Pentagon hits a panda driver on Omega. Covers, close 3 count. Thought it was over. Omega with a snapdragon suplex on Pentagon. Nails a V-trigger on Phoenix, leaping in. Tiger Driver 98 covers for a 2 count. Phoenix escapes one-winged angel. Page and Omega then hit buckshot lariat combo. V-trigger combo for the win. Winner still tag team champions Kenny Omega and Adam Page. It will now be Page and Omega versus the Young Bucks at Revolution. Nick and Matt come out and check on Omega. Then goes over and helps Omega up. Page heads out to the crowd. Grabs a few beers from a few fans. Cody with Randy Rhodes and Arn Anderson versus Wardlow with MJF steel cage match. All AEW Wrestling. It's main event time for our first ever hashtag steel cage match tonight as at Real Wardlow makes his AEW in-ring debut against the Real American Nightmare. at Cody Rhodes, who takes the win tonight in at AEW Atlanta at State Farm Arena. Cody with a high kick to Wardlow's face, and it does nothing. He then drops down and hits an uppercut. He then eats a back elbow. In AEW, the only way to win this match is pinfall or submission inside the steel fence. Wardlow drops Cody, then sends him into the cage. During the split screen break, Wardlow beats up Cody, and he's now busted open because he got raped in the face from the cage. Cody then lifts Wardlow up and pancakes him down to the mat. Cody with a springboard cutter lands 10 punches in the corner on his opponent. AEW Wrestling says that a real Wardlow throwing at Cody Rhodes around like it's nothing. Wardlow lifts Cody up and does an F10, which is a spinning F5, and doesn't look to pin Cody. Playing around with him, Wardlow then grates Cody's face on the cage. Cody is then sent into the door, and it flies open. MJF tells Arn to hit Cody in the face, where he's outside on the floor. Like he did to his dad. Arn thinks about it, but swings the door and nails MJF's face. Back in the ring, Cody with a big leg. Cody tosses Wardlow into the cage, then hits a spinning power slam. MJF hands over the diamond ring to Wardlow in the ring. Referee doesn't see it. Of course, doesn't matter because anything goes inside the steel cage. Cody with a low blow and puts the ring on himself. MJF isn't happy, and he starts his climbing up, but Brandy whacks him a couple of times. MJF barks at Brandy, but Arn sends him into the crowd, over the barrier, and into the crowd. And that's where you see, basically seeing Raven in the crowd. Cody with a crossroads, covers for a 2 count. Wrestling says Wardlow going high with a senton. Cody looks up and starts ascending to the top of the cage. He then nails a massive moonsault on Wardlow. Covers, and that'll do it. What an insane moonsault by Cody. Kurt Angle style, with a broken freaking neck. Winner by pinfall, Cody Rhodes. Before that ends your AEW Dynamite. Before the show got going, Jimmy Havoc defeated Marco Stunt with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in the first dark match of the night. Havoc was out first. Huge pop from Jurassic Express that woke up the entire arena. Havoc set the pace and stayed on Marco the whole match. Excalibur and Taz were on commentary, and the picture of that can be found on this link. And more comments from at Bearded Colwell. Jimmy Havoc with a win in the AEW Dark opener. At Russell Sports X, hashtag AEW Dark, hashtag AEW Atlanta, hashtag AEW Dynamite, at Atlanta Sports X. And at this link, another picture. Well, also advertised was Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Was also advertised for later. After Dynamite, Joey Janela defeated Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford in his corner in a Falls Count Anywhere match. The live recap of the match thanks to Adam Torrent for the recap. Kip Sabian was out first. Janela surprises him with a low blow during Kip's entrance. Kip with an airplane spot catches Penelope and knocks her down. Joey and Kip brawl. Penelope hits Joey with a dive from the stage. Kip and Joey fight right to the crowd, toward the ring. Two grapple and roll around the ring and back out. Action spills back into the crowd and then back towards the ring. Kip crawls on the ground on the other side of the guardrail. Joey follows. Joey grabs a prosthetic leg from the crowd and nails Kip with it. The crowd eats it up. Crowd chants for tables. Joey grabs one. Kip has Joey hanging from the top rope, but by only his feet. Ultimately hits a very scary looking rolling floating DDT maneuver. Series of big spots. The match is finding its pace as the crowd loves it. Scary spot with two tables lined up, long-wise, with Kip on the apron and Joey throwing Penelope Ford into Kip, sending the two of them to fall between the two tables on the floor. Joey secures the win. The Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Grayson defeated Seema and She-Hulk. And live recap. Dark Order was out first. Uno, Grayson, along with Silver and Reynolds, the two non-masked men, held masks in their hands tonight. Hands though. She-Hulk and Uno to start. There's a few tags. Matches back and forth to start. Largely looking like an even matchup. Dark Order eventually takes control, but cuts the ring in half. She-Hulk finds an opening, counters an Irish whip, makes a hot tag. Strong Heart's clean house with a double team dive through the ropes to the outside. Grayson ends up landing a huge leaping knee for the second rope to Seema on the apron. Dark Order picks up the win, with Udo securing the pinfall over She-Hulk. The final match saw Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall with Brandy Rhodes beat Peter Avalon and Sean Spears with Leva Bates and Tully Blanchard. And here's a recap of that. Sean Spears is out first. Medium heat. Librarian's out next. Crowd isn't happy. Avalon starts talking. When Dustin's music hits and the crowd pops, we're saved. QT and Avalon start things off. Chain wrestling and shushing. QT takes control and makes a tag to Dustin. Taking Avalon to the mat. Avalon scurried away and makes the tag. It's Spears versus Dustin. Working headlocks, shoulder tackles, but they look great together. Spears with a cartwheel, and then mocks Dustin's gold dust taunt. Solid back and forth action, and the crowd is eating it up. Dustin points to the ceiling, and the crowd erupts in Dusty's chants. Feels extra special here in Atlanta. Spears and Avalon isolate QT and take control of the match. They slow things down. They slow the action down. QT catches Spears with insecurity and makes a hot tag to Dustin. And gets on fire and regains control handily. Crowd pops huge. 10 minutes remaining. Warning with the 10 chant of their own. Dustin about to attack Avalon. Leva blocks his path. Brandy comes in and spears Leva. Dustin secures the pinfall over Peter Avalon. All as noted before the show, Jimmy Havoc defeated Marco Stunt with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And Excalibur and Taz were on commentary for the match. WWE held 2 pre-show dark matches from the NXT Arena in Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. This week before USA Network broadcast hit the air. First match saw Casey Catanzaro and Candice LeRae defeat Taynara Conti and Deonna Purrazzo. The second match saw Damian Priest defeat Cameron Grimes. And that concludes my results for this week's AEW Dynamite, NXT, and all that jazz. Thanks again. See you all in Wannabe. And by the way, it ran over 3 minutes. Well, that concludes my results. Thanks again. Peace out.